Good evening, children. Welcome to YEP Master, the school foundation program. And you know that I am your chemistry teacher, right? And in the previous classes, we started discussing about the gas laws, and we have finished the Dalton's law of partial pressure, Graham's law of diffusion, and we have even gone for the solutions, the solving the numericals with respect to the Dalton's law as well as the Graham's law. Okay. Now let us focus on the some more related concept with respect to the gaseous state, that is the kinetic molecular theory of gases. Kinetic molecular theory. So the laws that are given, whether the Boyle law, Charles law, or the Gay-Lussac's law, Avogadro's law, the Dalton's law, or the Graham's law, all these laws are given based on the experimental behavior. Okay. So they have conducted the experiments, and based on the experiment results they have proposed the laws. Okay. And there is no theoretical background with respect to the laws that are given for the gases. So in order to have a theoretical background, the kinetic theory of proposed for the gases. Okay. So the laws, Boyle's law, Charles law, Gay-Lussac's law, all these laws that are proposed are based on the experiments. So in order to have the theoretical background, in order to have a theoretical explanation for the gas laws, the kinetic molecular theory was proposed. Okay. So if we observe the yeah, in this case you can observe here, the theory was developed in order to give a theoretical explanation, not the experimental one. They have done the experiment, based on their experiments only they have proposed the law. Okay. They have done the experiments, and based on the experiment results they have proposed the laws. But we should have some evidence on a paper. Theoretical means it should be on paper. Okay. On paper. So how we are going to explain these laws? So on paper, to be give a theoretical background to the gas laws, the theory was developed. Okay. Yeah, this is also called as the kinetic molecular theory is also called as microscopic model of gases. Why it is so? Since it is related to the atoms and molecules which are very small. We have discussed while we are starting the discussion of gaseous state, there we have come across that matter is maybe it is a solid or a liquid or a gas made up of very small particles. Okay, very small particles. So we have discussed about the atoms and molecules. So the particles that are present in a matter, they are very small. Okay. For example, if I am going to take this remote as a matter, it is going to be made up of very small particles, the plastic molecules. Okay. So here the theoretical explanation for the gas laws is given to the molecules and atoms. Okay. It is applicable to the atoms and molecules of the gas. For example, in the case of noble gases, the smallest particle that is present is atoms. For the diatomic gases that exist in nature, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, etc., chlorine, fluorine gases, molecules will exist, or molecules are the smallest particles. Okay. So therefore the law, that is the kinetic molecular theory here, is mainly given to atoms and molecules of a gas, and these atoms and molecules of a gas are very small. So therefore we can also call it as microscopic. Microscopic is small. Okay. Microscopic. So these are the particles which can be seen under microscope, very small particles. Macroscopic. Macroscopic means very big particles. Okay, very large particles. We generally come across the macroscopic properties when we are dealing the thermodynamics. Okay, there we will discuss again what are the macroscopic, what are the microscopic again. Okay, so here the kinetic molecular theory of gases is also known as microscopic theory or microscopic model of gases. Why it is called microscopy? Because the kinetic molecular theory is applicable to the atoms and the molecules of the gas. It is applicable to atoms and molecules of the gas. Therefore, we can call it as microscopic model of gas or microscopic theory of gases. Okay. Let us see what is exactly the kinetic molecular theories, what are the postulates that are given, in order to explain the kinetic molecular theory. Today we will see only the postulates points, what are the exact the concepts that are given, what are the assumptions that are made in the kinetic molecular theory, and then we look in the next coming classes for the derivation of the gas laws. What I am saying, the gas laws that are proposed or the gas laws what we have discussed in the previous weeks all are based on the experimental evidence. Based on the experiment they have proposed the laws. Okay. So, this theory is going to give an explanation on theoretical basis for those gas laws. For those gas laws which are given on experimental basis, now we are going to prove it on a theoretical basis as well through this particular theory. Okay. So, this theory should give an equation, that equation should derive all the gas laws. So, in the next coming week days or the next coming classes, we are going to look into the different gas laws that can be derived through this kinetic equation. Okay. So, today let us focus only on the concepts or the postulates, the assumptions that are made in this particular theory. Okay. Let us move on to the postulates. First one, all gases, whatever may be the gas that is given to you, whatever may be the gas that we are going to consider for the experiment, whether it is oxygen gas, hydrogen gas, nitrogen gas, fluorine gas, chlorine gas or the noble gases, whatever may be the gas that is given to you for the experiment, the gas is made up of very large number of extremely small particles called molecules. In the case of noble gases, they are also called as atoms. How molecule is obtained? Combination of atoms will give us molecule. Okay. So, in case of a gas which is molecular, in that case the small particle is molecule. If the gas is a monoatomic gas, in that case the small particle is atom. Okay. So, do not worry about that one, we look at the only particles. Okay. So, here whatever may be the gas that is given, the gas will consist of very small particles, and in how many numbers the gas particles are present in the gas? The number is very large. So, very large number of the particles. Of course, what are the particles? These are the small particles present in the gas, and the gas is made up of these are particles only. For example, when we are writing the arrangement of the particles in the case of gaseous state, we generally write in this way. Okay. So, the particles are separated from each other by large distances, and so many particles are present within the gas. So, for example, if I am taking a balloon and I am enclosing the gas in the balloon, in that case the gas, if you observe clearly internal structures, in that case we can see that the gas is made up of small particle called molecule, and how many molecules are present in the gas? Very large number of molecules are present. So, therefore, here is given all gases, whatever may be the gas that we are going to take is made up of very small particles and with a large number. Okay. It is made up of very large number of extremely small particles are contained in it. For example, if we are taking a balloon and filling it with air, let us say, air we know it is a mixture of gases, nitrogen gas, oxygen gas, carbon dioxide gas, water vapor gas, etc. Okay. So, when you observe the internal structure of the gas has very large number of particles, very large number of molecules. Okay. And of course, the molecules may be nitrogen molecules, oxygen molecules or the carbon dioxide molecules or the water vapor molecules, whatever it may be, but the gas contain a very large number of molecules. So, the statement is given, first one is all the gases, whatever may be the gas that we are going to take is made up of very large number of extremely small particles generally called as atoms or molecules depending upon the gas that we are going to select, right. Now, let us look at the second one. All the molecules of a particular gas are identical in mass and size. All the molecules of a particular gas. For suppose, if I am taking only hydrogen gas, okay. Hydrogen gas I have taken in a balloon, it has a large number of hydrogen molecules. Okay, I have a hydrogen gas which has large number of hydrogen molecules. So, we have a huge number of hydrogen molecules, very large number of hydrogen molecules are present in the given container which has hydrogen. Okay, and if I observe, what is the statement is given? All the molecules of a particular gas are identical in mass as well as in a size. So hydrogen molecule, whether you take hydrogen in India or whether you take the hydrogen in United States of America, the hydrogen will be H2 only, and the size of the hydrogen will remain the same, and also what is that? The mass of the hydrogen will also remain the same. What is the mass of hydrogen gas? 2. Okay. So what is happening here? Hydrogen gas is obtained because of the combination of hydrogen and hydrogen. 2 hydrogen atoms are singly bonded to give hydrogen molecule. We know hydrogen atomic number or atomic mass is 1. Hydrogen molecule means 1 plus 1, it is 2. So hydrogen mass is 2 AMU or unified mass. So mass of a particular gas, if you take all the molecules that are present, I am taking a balloon of hydrogen gas. Okay. So that balloon has hydrogen molecules only. How many hydrogen molecules are there? Large number of hydrogen molecules are present in that balloon. Okay. And if I take one molecule of hydrogen, if I observe its mass and size, and then if I am comparing with the other one, so other hydrogen molecule will also have the same mass and the same size. So molecules of a particular gas will have the same mass and same size. Mass and size will remain constant whatever may be the gas that we are going to select. For suppose, instead of hydrogen gas, if I am taking a balloon filled with oxygen gas, if I am taking a balloon filled with oxygen gas, so again in that balloon, if I observe, if we go internally and if I observe the internally how many molecules are present, again large number of oxygen molecules are present, large number. Okay. So large number of oxygen molecules are present, and we know that oxygen is obtained by the combination of 2 oxygen atoms. 2 oxygen atoms are put together, resulting in the formation of a oxygen molecule. Okay. So oxygen are doubly bonded, 2 oxygen atoms are doubly bonded. Atomic mass of one oxygen atom is 16. So 2 oxygen atoms are present. So what is the mass of this one? Oxygen mass is 2 AMU or 2U, unified mass, 32 unified mass. Okay. One oxygen atom atomic mass is 16. So 16 plus 16, 32 is the molecular mass of oxygen. So I have taken a balloon of oxygen. In that balloon we have large number of oxygen molecules, and if I observe each and every oxygen molecule, the mass as well as the size are same for all the oxygen molecules, right? I think you got the clear idea. So if you are taking a particular gas, the particular gas molecules will have the same mass as well as same size. For example, if you are filling a balloon with a nitrogen gas, in that case we have large number of nitrogen molecules. Nitrogen again combination of 2 nitrogen atoms. Each nitrogen atom atomic mass is 14. So it will be 14 plus 14, 28U is the molecular mass of nitrogen gas. So the molecules of nitrogen are identical in respect to mass as well as the size. Size and mass of all the nitrogen molecules will remain same, identical. So that concept you have to keep it in mind, right? I think you can observe here, I have taken a vessel in which I have enclosed a gas. As soon as I open the cap, the gas molecules will escape. So the gas molecules are escaping, and if you observe here, the separation between the particles, separation between the gaseous particles, gaseous molecules, if we observe, we can say we can give the second postulate. What is it? The molecules are separated from one another by large spaces, very large distance is present between the particles of a gas. So if you observe here, the particles of gas are separated by large distances. Hence, what we can say, actual volume occupied by the molecules, actual volume. For example, if I am making all these particles to come into one place, if all these particles are occupying this particular place, let us say, okay, that is called as actual volume. Okay. So hence in this case, since the gas particles are separated by large distances, if I am making all the gas particles to come and occupy this space, they will occupy only this space only. Okay. So hence the volume, that is actual volume occupied by the gas molecules, is negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas. We know when we are dealing with the the different classification of matter, you come across that gases, they do not have definite volume and definite shape. Volume is not present, fixed volume is not present, and also fixed shape is not present for gases. So, that is the concept that we derive when we are discussing the basic concepts of matter. Okay. So, here since the volume of gas is not fixed, what we take? We take the container volume as the volume of the gas. We take the container volume as the volume of the gas. For example, now this is the container in which I have taken the gas. But if, for example, if I am making all the gas molecules to come closer, if I am making all the gas molecules to come closer, I am making the gas molecule to come closer and sit in particular position. So, they will occupy only this much volume, only this much volume, all the gas particles can be accommodated. So, therefore, we can say that the actual volume that is occupied by the gas molecule is negligible in comparison to the container in which the gas is taken, in which the molecules are negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas. When you take the total volume of the gas and the volume of the occupied by the gas molecules, the volume of gas molecules occupied is neglected, because they are going to occupy very small volume in a container. Okay. Yeah, you can clearly observe here. For example, I have taken a container. Okay, I have taken a glass container, I am enclosing a gas in it and I have closed the cap. So, if you observe the volume, what is the volume? So, this is the volume of the container. So, generally the gases, they do not have a fixed volume. So, what we do? We take the volume of the container as the volume of the gas, but actually if you observe how the particles are present in the gases, they are separated by large distances. So, now if I am going to compress these gas particles, if they are going to occupy very small volume, so automatically the actual volume of the gas molecules is negligible when compared with the volume of the total volume of the gas. Total volume is nothing but the volume of the container. Okay. So, volume of the container, and if I am comparing the volume of the gas molecules, the volume of gas molecules is very small, it can be neglected. Okay. Just observe here, for example, if I am opening the cap, what happens? What is going to happen? The gas particles will go out freely without any effect. So, all the gas particles are escaping. As soon as we open a container, for example, you have a perfume bottle with you. When you open the perfume bottle, what happens? The perfume will come out, and as soon as the perfume comes out, it will spread throughout the room. So, automatically, even if your mother sitting in the hall, she can experience the smell, right? If your father sitting in the hall can experience the same smell of the perfume. Okay. So, how the perfume smell is going out there? Because of the gas particles movement. Okay. The perfume is taken as in the form of a gas. Okay. So, here if you observe actual volume of the gas particle, when I make all the gas particle to come and closely occupy, they will occupy only this much volume in the container. But what I am considering? I am considering the total volume of the container in which the gas is taken. So, therefore, the volume occupied by the volume of the gas molecules is negligible when compared with the total volume of the gas. Okay. So, this point you have to keep it in mind, because we come across again this concept while we are dealing the next chapter, that is the gaseous state 2. Okay. Right. Third postulate, third statement, if you observe, the attraction or repulsion between the gas molecules are negligible. Just now we have seen that as soon as we have opened the cap of the glass bottle, what is happening? The gas particles are going out, and during that process, one gas particle not influencing the other gas particle. Therefore, we can say that there is no interaction present between the particles, no particle is interacting with one another. So, therefore, we can say that no attraction or no repulsion is possible between the gas molecules. So, the attraction and repulsion between the gas molecules is negligible. In other words, you can say that there is no attraction force between the particles and there is no repulsion force. That is to say that the gas particles are moving freely and independently, and one gas particle not influencing the properties of other gas particle. So, one gas molecule and other gas molecules are not interacting with one another. Since there is no interaction, we can say that no attraction and no repulsive forces are operating between the gas molecules. Okay. Why it is so? Mainly it is because of the large distances that are present between the gas molecule. Just now we have seen within the container also the gas particles are separated by large distances. Since the distance is more, they cannot interact with one another. Simply, for example, you and your best friend are sitting in the classroom. If both of you are sitting in the same bench, you can interact with one another, right? You can talk with one another, you can exchange your pencils, you can exchange your books and notebooks, right? But for suppose, if you are sitting in one corner of a classroom and your friend is sitting in other corner, in that case, can you interact with your friend? No. Why it is so? Because the distance between the two persons has increased. So here in this case also, the gas particles are separated by large distances. So one gas particle not influencing the other particle, and this particle not influencing this one. That is to say that there is no interaction present between the particles. No interaction means there is no attraction force or there is no repulsion force. No attraction force, no repulsion force are working between the gas particles because they are separated by large distances. Okay? Yeah. Let us see one more point. The gas molecules are always in random motion. Then again, if you observe, as you know, when a teacher is not there in your classroom, what you will do? You start murmuring with your friend, or you start talking with your friend. You may be rotating in the throughout the classroom, or you may be walking throughout, or you may be disturbing your friends, etc. Right? So the same thing will be present in the case of gas molecule. Whatever may be the matter we are going to select, whether it is a solid or a liquid or a gas, the particles will be in a continuous motion. Okay. When you observe the gases, the freedom is more because the particles are separated by large distances. There is no attractive force and repulsive forces are operating between the particles. So automatically what happens? They have the freedom. So because of the freedom, they will move on their own. So the gas molecules are always in a random motion. What they will do? They are always in a random motion. They are moving continuously without any stopping. Okay, there is no stop for the gas molecule. They are moving continuously. That is what is the statement given. The gas molecules are always in random motion. During their motion, during their movement, what happens? They collide with one another. One gas molecule will collide with another gas molecules, and they also collide with the wall of the container in which we are going to store it. Since the gas particle that does not have attraction forces, they have the maximum freedom of movement and they are always in a random motion, and because of that motion what happens? During the motion the gas particles will come closer and they will hit one another. So collision is going to take place. For example, in your class all the students are moving in a random fashion. What happens? The collision takes place between the students, right? Similar thing is also possible between the gas molecules. So the gas molecules will collide with one another. Not only the collision between the gas molecule may even go and hit the wall of the container in which it is going to be stored. For suppose I have taken a container, okay, in which I have taken a gas. Here the balls indicates the gas molecules. Okay, so if you observe here, the gas molecules are in a random motion. They are moving randomly. Okay, and the moment is different. And during the process, you can observe the gas molecules are colliding with one another. They are not only colliding with one another; they even colliding with the walls of the container in which the gas is stored. Okay, so that is what is taken. The gas molecules are always in random motion, and during their motion they collide with one another. Not only between the collision between the gas molecules even go and hit the wall of the container. For example, you can imagine your classroom. Okay, the students are like the gas particles. If they are moving in a random motion, what happens? Collision between the students occur and even the student will go and hit the wall of the classroom, right? The same thing is happening in the case of gases also. The gases also hitting the walls of the container in which the gas is going to be stored. So this is the fourth interesting point. Next, fifth one. These collisions, which collisions? The collision between the gas molecule that is taking place. These collisions with each other between the gas particles and with the walls of the container, okay, are perfectly elastic. As soon as the two gas particles come closer and they hit together, what happens? Because of the collision taking place between the two, the collision is moreover, it is a perfectly elastic one. Elastic one means as soon as they collide, they go back. As soon as they collide, they go back. For example, if you take a rubber ball and hit the wall, what happens? It will come back, right? So because of the elastic nature, it is coming back. The same thing is happening here. The gas molecule is going and hitting the wall and it is coming back because of the elastic nature. When the collision between the two gas particles takes place, automatically they bounce back, they go back. So, the collisions that are taking place between the particles are with the walls of the container, they are all perfectly elastic. All the collisions that are taking place in a gas molecule in a container is generally a perfect elastic collision, perfect elastic collision. That is to say that no loss of or the low gain of energy takes place. What kind of energy these molecules are having? The molecules are in motion. So, when the particle is in motion, what kind of energy we expect? Kinetic energy. So, kinetic energy is due to the motion of the particle. So, kinetic energy loss or kinetic energy gain does not take place in these collisions because they are all perfectly elastic collisions, perfectly elastic collisions. Of course, the transfer of energy takes place between the gas particles, but loss and gain of kinetic energy does not take place. Transfer of energy, for example, two molecules are coming closer and they are hitting together, they are colliding with one another. Automatically, let us say this gas molecule is moving with a very high speed and the one gas molecule is moving with a low speed. So, as soon as they collide, what happens? Initially, this gas molecule is moving with high speed becomes slow and the gas molecule which is moving slowly becomes highly speed. What happens? During the collision process, the kinetic energy, the energy present in the fast moving particle get transferred to the molecule which is moving slowly. So, the collision between the particles are perfectly elastic. Since the collisions are perfectly elastic, transfer of energy takes place, but no loss of energy or no gain of energy occurs. Energy does not lose in the process of collision or energy cannot be gained during the collision process, but what is going to happen? The transfer of energy takes place between the particles. If you observe here, the collisions are taking place, you can imagine the particles are colliding with one another, okay. So, as soon as they collide, they move in a reverse direction. So, the collisions are perfectly elastic and during the collision process, the particles are not gaining energy or they are not losing energy, but one particle transferring its energy into the other particle. So, the collisions are perfectly elastic in the case of the gas molecules, okay. This point you have to be very careful further, which we come across in the other discussions, okay. So, how the pressure of a gas can be measured? So, here the pressure exerted by the gas is due to the bombardment of the particles on the walls of the container. As I told you when we are discussing about the pressure, the measurable properties of the gas, there we have come across the pressure. How the pressure can be measured? Pressure is measured because of the collision of the particles on the walls of the container. So, I have taken a container in which the gas is stored initially, and if I am sitting outside, okay, I can experience the pressure. How I can experience the pressure? Because the particle will come and hit the wall. As soon as it come and hit the wall, this side I can experience the pressure, okay. So, the pressure that is the collision that is taking place with the walls of the container is taken as the pressure, okay. So, what is the pressure of a gas? The pressure of a gas is due to the bombardment of the or the collision of the gas particles on the walls of the container. So, on the walls, as soon as the gas molecule go and hit it, so other side the pressure can be experienced, okay. It is a force per unit area. There we have discussed, even we have gone for the derivation of the units in the case of pressure, right. So, force per unit area is taken as pressure. The pressure is due to the collision of the gas molecules on the walls of the container. So, you can again observe this video, you can clearly see the gas molecules are colliding the walls of the container. So, as soon as they go and collide the walls of the container, see you can observe here this molecule colliding with this wall. So, the pressure can be expected from the collision of gas molecules. So, as the collision of gas molecules takes place with the wall and hence the pressure is generated. So, pressure of gas is due to the collision of gas particles on the walls of the container in which the gas is stored, okay. So, this is one more very important point of the kinetic theory, kinetic molecular theory of gases. Okay, this point is also important. As soon as we come across the gaseous 2 chapter, in that case we discuss more about this one also. Okay, so remember this one. Okay, so now so far we have proposed some of the postulates. First one is all gas molecules are made up of very small particles and very large number it is present, and second one is the gas molecules are separated from each other by large distances, therefore in that case the volume of the gas particles or gas molecules is negligible when compared to the total volume. And third one, we have discussed that there is no attraction and repulsive forces are going to operate between the particles, so they move freely and independently, and the collision between during the motion, and moreover the gaseous molecules will not be at rest, they are in a continuous random motion. During the motion, what happens? The molecules will collide with one another. During the collision, energy transfer takes place, and all the collisions that are taking place between the molecules with the walls of the container are perfectly elastic. There is no generation of energy or there is no loss of energy, only transfer of energy is going on. So, the law of conservation of energy is followed in this case. Okay, you know, according to the law of conservation of energy, energy neither be created nor destroyed. What we can do? We can transfer one energy from one form to the other form, but we cannot create or we cannot destroy the energy. So, in this case the collisions are perfectly elastic, energy transfer taking place between the particles, and there is no generation of energy or there is no destroying of energy that it can be seen in this case. Okay, and the pressure of the gas is due to the mainly the collision of the gas particles on the walls of the container. And one more concept or one more postulate if we observe, since the molecules are moving with the different velocities, as we have seen in the previous video that the gas molecules are moving with the different velocities. As I told you, for example, a gas molecule moving with a high speed colliding with a gas molecule moving with the low speed, what happens? This high speed molecule velocity decreases, whereas the low speed molecule velocity will increase. So, here the molecules that are present in the gas, all molecules are not moving with the same velocity, the molecules are moving with different velocities, all the molecules are having different velocities. Okay, they possess therefore they possess different kinetic energies. All the molecules are not moving with the same speed, same velocity, therefore all the molecules are not having the same kinetic energy, they are having different kinetic energy. Since the molecules are having different velocities, so the molecules will have different kinetic energy. So, since they have different kinetic energy, generally we expect their kinetic energy to be changing, but of course as the collision takes place, energy transfer takes place between the particles, energy transfer takes place between the particles. So, kinetic energy gets fluctuates between the total particles, but if we observe, however, the average kinetic energy of the molecules of a gas, average kinetic energy of the molecules of a gas is generally proportional to the absolute temperature of the gas. We know that kinetic energy is given as half mv square, it is due to the velocity. Okay, so velocities are different, so therefore the kinetic energy of the gas molecules are different, all the gas molecules are moving with the different velocities, so they have different kinetic energies. And moreover, here the kinetic energy of gas molecules is directly proportional to absolute temperature. Kinetic energy, that is average kinetic energy. Why we are going for average kinetic energy? As I told you, the gas molecules are moving with the different velocities, and when the collision takes place, velocity gets changes. For example, when we are throwing two balls with the two different velocities and making them to collide with one another, automatically their velocity gets changes. So, as the velocity of the gas molecules are changing, we go for average velocities, therefore we get average kinetic energy for the molecules. So, when you observe the average kinetic energy, so the average kinetic energy of the gas molecules is directly proportional to absolute temperature. What is it? The average kinetic energy of a gas molecules generally proportional to, as directly proportional to absolute temperature. So, if temperature is going to change, the kinetic energy of the molecules also gets changes. If we are increasing the temperature, kinetic energy of the molecules also increases. If we are decreasing the temperature, kinetic energy of the molecules also get decreases. Okay. So, the kinetic energy of the molecules directly proportional to the absolute temperature of the gas. It is directly proportional to absolute temperature of the gas. Okay. So, this is one more point that is included in the case of kinetic molecular theory. Different molecules are having different velocities, so therefore they will have different kinetic energy. We know kinetic energy equal to half mv square. Mass remains constant but velocity changes. Okay. And however, if you observe, the average kinetic energy of the gas molecules is directly proportional to the absolute temperature of the gas. That is to say that the temperature at which the gas is kept. For example, I have taken a container, just now we have seen, I have enclosed a gas, I am keeping that gas container at room temperature. So, what is the temperature of the gas in that case? Room temperature will be the temperature of the gas. Okay. So, in that case, average kinetic energy of the gas molecule directly proportional to room temperature. So, it is directly proportional to temperature. That is to say that with increase in temperature, what happens? Velocity will increase. As velocity increases, kinetic energy also increases. So, with increase in temperature, kinetic energy increases. Therefore, we say that kinetic energy of the gas particles directly proportional to the absolute temperature. Okay. So, these are the different postulates that are given for the kinetic molecular theory. From these postulates, if we go for deriving the equation, we end up with the PV equal to 1 by 3 m n c square. We end up with the equation PV equal to 1 by 3 m n c square. Of course, the derivation, how we are getting this equation is not important as far as the foundation level is concerned. Of course, it is little higher mathematics are required for deriving this equation. So, from the kinetic molecular theory of gases, we can get a equation. That equation is PV equal to 1 by 3 m into n into c square. What are all these? P is the pressure of the gas that we have discussed, V is the volume of the gas. P is the pressure of gas, V is the volume of gas. What is m? M is the mass of a gas molecule, one gas molecule ma. Okay. What is m? M is the mass of a gas molecule, one gas molecule. And what is n here? Small n indicates number of gas molecules. How many number of gas molecules we have? That is going to be indicated with a small n. Small m indicates mass of a gas molecule. Small n indicates the number of gas molecules that are present in the given gas, whereas C, what is C here? C is root mean square velocity. C is root mean square velocities. So, gases will have different velocities, and the different velocities that can be calculated: average velocity, most probable velocity, root mean square velocity. So, these are the three different velocities we expect generally from a gas molecule. Okay. So, here capital C indicates the root mean square velocity. Capital C is root mean square velocity. So, students, please remember this equation. We are going to have very important derivations from this particular equation. Okay. Please, I think you have enjoyed the class today, and we will come up with some more interesting topic in the next class. Until then, have a nice time. Thank you.